Sonic Forces is it's not a good Sonic game. Let's be honest. It's really not. But it did start a certain trend, a trend that has been going on for many Sonic games since, and I very much appreciate it, which is the fact that it started the trend of IDW making tie-in comics for the video games. Ever since this point, there has been tie-in comics for the Sonic video games made by IDW. Now, this is not something as well that is new entirely. There has been tie-in comics to the video games before, but those were handled by Archie Comics at the time. And now, IDW had the license. We were around the point when the series was going to start. The IDW Sonic series was going to start. So, they were given the permission to make comics for Sonic Forces, and there is 4 of them. They are very short comics that take place at certain points in Sonic Forces, right? Some take place before, some take place after, some take place during. Actually, none of them take place after. They all take place either before or during Sonic Forces, and they provide a bit of context. Stuff that probably should have been in the video game, to be honest, but they didn't. So we're going to go over all 4 issues of these comics and how good are they, just pretty much talk about them, etc, etc. So the first issue is called Moment of Truth, and I should say that all of these issues are written by Ian Flynn, who, as we all know, is probably the best Sonic writer. So he was given the task, hey, make these tie-in comics. So the first issue actually starts out in a village where the Chaotix are there, kind of supervising the village, making sure everything's running smooth, because Eggman is on his way to attack, and lo and behold, Eggman does. Now, we follow a monkey soldier. This is apparently supposed to be our avatar from the Forces game, but they just chose the monkey as the representative. But this is meant to be our avatar, the rookie from Sonic Forces. So Eggman attacks, and the Chaotix are like, alright everyone, let's get into your positions, nobody panic, we have got this. And our monkey guy's like, alright, this is it, this is my moment, I can finally, do something and help. The problem is this dude sucks, and he can't do anything. So he tries to lift it up like a beam or something, and Vector's like, come on dude, we got no time to waste. So Espio hands him a Wispin. There we go, he's got a Wispin, isn't that nice? Even though he gets handed one already by Knuckles, when he joins the Resistance, he gets a Wispin here, and he's like, cool, awesome. He doesn't know how to use it, and he ends up burning Charmy. So, I mean, he's already in my good books. So, Eggman's robots attack, the Chaotix, they're handling damage control, trying to stop them. Our guy is hiding in fear, and he's like, no, I can't do this. I can't be a coward. So he gets up, and he eventually loads up a cannon that shoots Eggman's ship down, stops the robots from coming, and he is seen as a hero. Great job, man, you did it. Charmy finally forgives him because he was useful. Otherwise, Charmy was still gonna be pissed at him. And our guy's like, he's done it. He's like, I'll do better. I'm gonna become better, and I'll be a hero for this war. And there we go. So this was pretty much just to show you why your rookie joins the Resistance. It's a good one. I think it's a nice little comic, a nice little showing you why rookie joins the Resistance in the first place. He didn't want to be seen as weak. He wanted to help. And I like that. So that gets a thumbs up from me. So the next one is Looming Shadow, and this one starts off with Omega just destroying a bunch of Eggman robots at an Eggman base. So he is then told by Rouge that Shadow's going to come and support you. Just, hold on your own until then. Now the big thing is on the Rouge panel, there's a couple Easter eggs on that Rouge panel. The big ones are that if you look very closely in the back, there is pictures of Sally Acorn and Bunny Rabbit. Yeah, that's awesome. Now, these are just Easter eggs. These are not actual confirmation that Sally and Bunny are canon, as much as I would love for them to be canon. Ian Flynn confirmed No, these are just Easter eggs for fun. They're not actually canon. Boo, boo, boo. So anyway, Eggman is like, oh my god, we're under attack. We gotta stop this. And eventually he tells Infinite, it's your time. And Infinite steps out. He uses his powers on Omega, and then Shadow arrives, and Rouge is like, Shadow, I have lost all contact with Omega. Please go in there and provide support. And Shadow's like, alright, I'm on it. And he goes. So this is meant to tell you why in the episode Shadow DLC, like what was going on with Omega. Because remember, there's that mission where Omega is kind of like gone and losing it. This is meant to be like the intro to that. It's okay. Yeah, this one I think it doesn't really do much. The next one, Stress Test, is I think one that's much better. So Knuckles is chilling out on Angel Island. He's just chilling like a villain. Silver shows up, and you know Silver's freaking out. He's like, "Dude, we got trouble." And you know, Knuckles is like, "Silver, what are you doing here?" "Nah, I'm dreaming. There's no way." And Silver's like, "No, dude, we gotta go. I have come to warn you from something from the future." And Knuckles is like, "Well, if I'm not dreaming, how do you explain this?" And he shows it's Pachacamac's village. You know, like in from SA1, it's all there. And Knuckles is like, Silver, did you travel us to the past? And Silver's like, no, I just came back in time. I swear, man, this guy nothing to do with me. Someone comes out of the Master Emerald, and it's Chaos, of course. And Knuckles is like, it's just Chaos. Nothing to do. He's peaceful. He's harmless. Chaos punches him in the face. So now we start a big fight between Knuckles and Silver versus Chaos. Chaos Zero, and it's really cool for the little bit we have it. There's a really nice panel where like Chaos like zooms through like 3 panels at once. That's freaking cool. Knuckles is like, alright, I got an idea, just get me a shot at his brain. And Silver's like, yeah, dude, I got it. So Silver holds him in place, Knuckles punches him in the head, and Chaos disappears. And so does Pachacamac's village. It's all gone. And they're all kind of confused. Silver's like, okay, something happens in this time that brings the world to burn. He says, but the historical records don't really say what. Just something happens here. And Knuckles is like, so you came back in time for my help. Well, I guess I'll lead whatever resistance that is necessary. And Silver's like, I mean, okay, thanks, dude. And then the two rush off. And Eggman is there with the Phantom Ruby, and he's like, the trial run was a success. With this, you know, no one will survive the power of the Phantom Ruby. So this is a much better comic. It tells you why Silver came back. Shows you Knuckles is why he agreed to do the resistance in the first place. It's his ego, because he thinks he's actually bigger, a bigger part of this than he is. And it shows you Eggman using the Phantom Ruby for the first time as like a little test to see how it works. So that's really cool. I think that's a good one. And then the final comic we have, Rise of Infinite. This was the comic everyone was waiting for. Infinite's backstory. Finally get to see him. Well, I got some news for you. Okay, so anyway, Eggman he's having a bad time because he's just like, man, I'm having a hard time coming up with some new robots. And you know what? That's a fair enough assumption. I mean, coming up with ideas for how these robots work, that must take some time, man. Eventually, he detects something appearing outside his door. He's like, what the hell is this? He touches it. It's the Phantom Ruby, of course. He touches it. He picks it up. And suddenly, Eggman lands there. And he's like, what the hell? He lets go of the ruby in surprise. He drops, disappears, and he's like, this mysterious gem, you know, caused a hallucination. So he starts, like, you know, doing some research on it, and he's like, you know, what do I call this? And Cuba puts out some names. He puts out Spooky Sapphire, Precious Stone, and the big one there, he said Anarchy Barrel, which popped me huge. For those who don't know, Anarchy Barrel is the name of the Chaos Emeralds from Moebius from Archie Comics. So Scourge's universe in Archie, the Chaos Emeralds are called Anarchy Barrel, and that popped me huge here. And Eggman's like, I wish I call it the Phantom Ruby. Suddenly, another alarm goes off, and Jackal Squad is here, baby. They've been hired to raid the base, and Eggman's tech, that's gonna pay a hefty price, baby. They got it, baby. And Eggman's like, oh, no goddamn way. And he uses the Phantom Ruby to create a bunch of robots to take down Jackal Squad. Infinite gets close to him, and he has a sword, which is awesome. He should have kept this in the game. And he, like, gets ready to swipe Eggman with his heart. Eggman's like, oh god, no! And he holds the ruby up. Infinite Sword touches the Phantom Ruby, and the hallucination that's created is the world that's just destroyed. Eggman sees this, and he's like, oh, that's interesting. I like you, dude. How about this? You lead my forces. I'll hire you to lead my forces for when I take over the world. And the rest of Jackal Squad's like, no, don't worry, dude. We're fine. Don't be tempted. And Infinite's just like, after I've been kind of going through the motions lately, so maybe this is up my alley. And then he agrees. And that's it. So that explains why Jackal Squad is with Eggman. Alright, this is what the story does. It explains why Jackal Squad's with Eggman. It explains why they joined. Shows Eggman getting the Phantom Ruby in Forces, because of course he gets it in Mania, and then it disappears, and it reappears in Forces. So, shows Eggman getting the Phantom Ruby in Forces. They have the nice little fun thing where he names it the Phantom Ruby. Anarchy Barrel pops me huge. And we get to see what Infinite looked like before he put the mask on. He's got heterochromia too, so that means, like, each eye is a different color. This was fine. I think that was real good. It's real interesting. So, those are the Sonic Forces comics. Overall, I think they're all pretty good, bar, like, Comic 2. All Comic 2's got going for it is the Sally Acorn Easter egg in there. But all the other ones, I think they're really good tie-in comics, and they do expand on the story in a good way, right? Like, because the first one tells you why the Rookie joins the Resistance. The third one is showing you why Silver's here, why Knuckles decides he'll lead the Resistance, and Eggman using, doing his first test to realize the power of the Phantom Ruby, and then the final one is why Infinite joined Eggman in the first place, right? That's real fun and real cool. Looming Shadow, it's mainly just a little tie-in into Episode Shadow, but it doesn't do much. So I think the second one is like the worst one, but all the other three are really good, actually. Like for the short little bit they were given, I think that these comics are really good. And these issues are really short, mainly because they were released on Twitter. They were released on the official Sonic Twitter. So, obviously, they don't have a lot of time. They don't got a lot to really show you. So, that's why these comics are kind of short, right? They were all on Twitter, but they're fun. They are real fun, and you can see why with how these are done, why they continued after this to do a lot more comics, like prequels of like the Sonic games, right? Because after this, Team Sonic Racing, they got one. Sonic Frontiers had a prequel comic. Superstars has many tie-in comics, actually. So you can see why they do it, right? And I like it. I like the idea of like prequel comics and tie-in comics to various forms of media. It's just a lot of fun. So there we go. Those are the Sonic Forces comics. Which issue is your favorite? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys all next time.